Morning, my friends. So anyone that knows me understands that I'm really not a fan of this love yourself no matter what narrative. So I wanted to kind of explain this morning about why most of your suffering comes from a misinterpretation of that phrase or the philosophy of self-love. And it primarily follows the dictum that self-love and self-pleasure are two very different things. And what you'll find is most of your actions are geared towards this idea of self-pleasure rather than self-love. So I was reading this really wonderful book by Kamal Ravikant, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And it gives us some really practical ideas of what is meant by self-love and how to integrate that into your life and get away from this more social engineered idea of self-love, which is actually self-pleasure. It's structured in a practice. Well, I'll explain to you the practice of how you can actually implement actions that are geared towards this idea of self-love. So simply, it follows this mental loop idea that you should be constantly affirming to yourself that you love yourself, okay? And initially I wasn't a fan of this. But then it was followed by this idea of meditation, which again, if you know anything about me, I'm very much a fan of on this platform. Meditation is something I feel that is not only advantageous, but I feel should be compulsory in living in a world of overstimulation and distraction. So he advocates taking at least 7 minutes every day, can maybe in the morning or in the evening, to sit with yourself, be with your thoughts, and affirm those feelings of, I love myself. Again, I was trying to think of a synonym for love, but there's nothing else that encapsulates that feelings of when you truly love yourself. I'm going to skip over this mirror idea, but the fourth question is something that really spoke to me, and I feel that it's going to speak to you hopefully as well. But it is when you are going about your daily activities and you are confronted with several situations which you don't really know how to act, you're not really sure what the best behavior is moving forward, is asking yourself the question, if I truly loved myself, would I be doing this particular activity? Or what would I do if I truly loved myself in that particular situation? And I feel it's really, really beautiful, and it's something that I ask myself. An affiliation of that kind of word is, if I what is the best, if I wanted to become my best person, my best version of myself, what is the actions that would take me there? And I think I'm going to finish this video on this idea that you should watch yourself like you're watching a stranger, or better yet, someone that you really love and you want to look after, like a good friend, like a close friend. And you should be constantly asking yourself, if I was someone that I really cared about or I really loved, would I be letting myself conduct myself in this particular manner? If you're constantly eating soy products and high carbohydrate and sugary foods, you might want to ask yourself, if this was a friend, maybe I might say, maybe I should get some lean proteins in my diet. Maybe I need a bit more vegetables. If you're watching that 5th show in a series of 8 on Netflix for the 4th weekend running, you might want to ask yourself, maybe after this, go read a book instead. Or instead of watching that show, maybe I'll read a book. Or maybe you should sign up to the gym instead and go once a week. It's about asking those questions. And when you frame it in a different way other than, I just want pleasure, I just want to feel good, I just want to watch that Netflix show and feel good, I just want to eat that pizza and feel good, you start to discern between the two, that one is more geared towards pleasure and that sensory feedback, and one is in the best interests of your future character. You've got to love yourself like your life depends on it. This is a really, really good book. It's easy to read. Like you can see, it's broken up fairly well. And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of these love yourself no matter what narratives, but this really gives you that delineation between pleasure and love, because the two are not nearly the same. And if that is something you found valuable, if you can start to hopefully see now in your life between whether you're just pleasuring yourself needlessly because you want the sensation, or whether or not your actions are going to be geared towards actions that are going to be conducive to your future, then that is the most valuable gift I can give you today. So if you enjoy that, if you subscribe to anything of what I've said today, subscribe to me, my friend, and there's plenty more self-love practice on this channel where that came from. And I'll see you very soon.